The gunshot ripped through the stillness of my farm, slicing the quiet evening like a thunderclap. My heart thumped so hard I could feel it lodged in my throat. In the distance, a figure staggered, hand pressed to their side, a sharp scream piercing the air. Time seemed to freeze. My trembling hands lowered the shotgun, the acrid sting of gunpowder blending with the crisp rural breeze. Then it hit me I'd shot someone. I bolted forward, boots crunching over brittle leaves and dirt. The woman, her face twisted in agony, gritted her teeth as she slumped against my rickety fence. Even in the fading light, I knew her instantly. Lydia, the relentless pest who'd been tormenting me ever since she took over the homeowners association. And now, here she was, on my land, trying to steal from me. How had it come to this? Let me take you back. I'd moved to this sleepy Texas town to escape the grind of city life. For years, I'd toiled in corporate America, chained to a desk, buried under emails and pointless meetings. But when my dad passed, leaving me his farm, I saw a chance for a new beginning, a way to root myself in something tangible. I threw everything into reviving the place, planting crops, tending livestock, crafting a self-sustaining life. It was tough, but it filled me with purpose. The only snag? The HOA. My farm sat right on the edge of a tidy suburban neighborhood. At first, I barely noticed them until the complaints started trickling in. A letter about my fence being too high. A gripe about the smell of my animals. Then came Lydia. Lydia wasn't just any HOA president, she was a tyrant, a self-proclaimed ruler of petty grievances. She made it her mission to dismantle my peace. "You're tanking our property values," she'd shrieked one afternoon, jabbing a manicured finger in my face. "This is private land," I'd shot back, wiping sweat from my brow. "You've got no say here." She'd stormed off, lips pursed, but I knew she wasn't finished. What followed was a barrage of torment. Anonymous complaints, surprise inspections, even someone sneaking onto my property to set my animals loose. I refused to buckle. One evening, as I patched up the barn, I heard a rustle near the property line. Grabbing my flashlight, I headed out, my dog Rusty trotting at my heels. Then I spotted the two shadowy figures creeping toward my equipment shed, deliberate and quiet. My pulse surged. Thieves. I gripped the flashlight tighter and shouted, "Who's there?" One bolted into the night, but the other turned, caught in my beam. "Lydia, what are you doing on my land?" I demanded, stepping closer. She scoffed, "Just checking for HOA violations." "At night? On private property?" I pressed. She clutched something to her chest, me new chainsaw. Rage flared. "You're stealing from me," she stammered. I didn't let her finish. I reached for my phone to call the sheriff, but she lunged. I stumbled, and Rusty's sweetest dog alive snarled, leaping between us. Lydia swung the chainsaw wildly, missing him by a hair. Adrenaline took over. I grabbed my shotgun from the fence post, meaning only to scare her. I fired a warning shot skyward, but in the chaos, bank bullet struck her side as she tripped over the fence. She crumpled, gasping, hand on her wound. I froze. Then her scream shattered the night. I rushed to her, hands shaking, the shotgun now a dead weight. "You shot me," she rasped, eyes wild with shock and fury. "It was an accident," I muttered, barely audible over my pounding blood. She whimpered, pain etching her face. I had to act. The wound wasn't fatal, but blood pooled fast. With shaky fingers, I dialed 911. "There's been a Shatinga woman's hit. It was an accident. Send an ambulance." The dispatcher fired questions, but my mind spun too fast to keep up. Lydia groaned, head lolling against the fence. "I didn't mean to," I whispered, more to myself. Then, unbelievably, she laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "You're going to jail for this." My blood chilled. I'd been defending my land. She was the trespasser, the thief, but if the law saw me as the attacker, I was done. Sirens wailed in the distance. Red and blue lights flooded the scene as deputies arrived, guns drawn. "Drop the weapon," one barked. I raised my hands. It was an accident. One officer tended to Lydia while another shoved me to my knees, confiscating my shotgun. Paramedics rushed in, bandaging her and hauling her to the ambulance. Her smirk never wavered as she glared at me, plotting even then. Sheriff Dan Carter, a gruff man with a steady gaze, leaned against his cruiser. "Tell me what happened." I swallowed hard. "She was trespassing, stealing my gear." I fired a warning shot. She moved into it. He nodded. "Got cameras." My stomach sank. "Not by the fence." His face tightened. "That's trouble." She attacked first, I swear. Dan sighed. I believe you, but Lydia's a pro at playing Tim. If she presses charges, you're in for a fight. My fists clenched. Everything I'd built hung in the balance. Then his radio crackled. Sheriff, vandalism at the farm, fences smashed, barn busted. My gut dropped. Lydia was in the hospital, someone else was after me. Dan's eyes darkened. Looks like you've got more enemies than you thought. I raced back with Dan trailing me. My headlights revealed the carnage, fences splintered, barn doors dangling, glass shattered. My sanctuary felt like a battlefield. Any enemies besides Lydia? Dan asked, scanning the wreckage. Not that I know. I lied, a hunch gnawing at me. This wasn't random. Someone wanted me gone. Next morning, I stormed the HOA office, a pristine building amid manicured lawns. The receptionist flinched as I barged past. Sir, do you have... I ignored her, flinging open the office door. Empty, save for a desk and rulebooks. Looking for me? Lydia's voice purred. She stood in the doorway, arm in a sling, smirking. My farm was trashed last night, I growled. Oh, how awful, she mocked. Cut the crap you read behind it. She sighed. I was in the hospital. No proof, huh? I stepped closer. Maybe not, but your minions do your dirty work. Her smile widened. Good luck pro-vying that. I backed off. This is my land. I'm not Leo vying. We'll see, she taunted. That day, I repaired what I could, eyes darting for trouble. By night, I sat on the porch, Rusty at my feet, shotgun ready. Headlights pierced the dark. A black SUV rolled up. A tall man in a slick suit stepped out, smirking. Mr. Hayes, he asked smoothly. Who's asking? I didn't lower the gun. Nathan Pierce. I represent certain interests here. What interests? He eyed my farm. The kind that doesn't like stubborn folks blocking progress. My grip tightened. Not for sale. He sighed. A shame. My employers always get what they want. This wasn't just Lydia, something bigger loomed. Nathan stood there, his smirk icy. I'm not negotiating, he said. I'm warning you. Take our offer soon, or accidents happen out here. You think I scare easy? I shot back. No, he replied. That's why this'll get ugly. I stepped forward. Come back, and you'll see ugly. His smirk flickered. After a tense silence, he left. I exhaled. This was far from over. Next day, I hit the sheriff's office. Nathan Pierce cited. I told Dan. His face hardened. He's a fixer, big money hires him to clean up messes. If he's here, someone powerful wants you out. Who? Maybe Lydia, maybe worse. What now? Stand firm, but watch your back. That night, I locked up tight, shotgun in hand. Past midnight, a rustle woke me. Rusty growled. A shadow crossed the window. Then boom, front door burst open. 3 masked men charged in. I dove behind the couch as Rusty attacked. I fired, boom, hitting one in the shoulder. Another swung a crowbar. I dodged, but my gun clicked empty. The third flipped my table. I hurled the shotgun, stunning him, and ran for the back door. A hand yanked me back. I hit the floor hard. An explosion rocked the house. Me barn blazed. They meant to destroy everything. I kicked free, grabbed a poker, and struck, downing one. Sheriff Dan's lights flashed. They scattered. He nabbed one. The rest fled. Vincent's thug, Dan confirmed. My barn smoked, half ruined. This is bigger than the HOA, I said. Damn right, Dan agreed. Keep fighting, theory not done. I wouldn't run. This was my land, my war. I'd see it through.